Recording has started, as well as the transcription for you, Julie. Thank you very much. As I said, my name is Margaret. I'm the chair of the Whitaker Community Council. Welcome to the October 9th general meeting. I'm sorry for the late notice. We had a hybrid meeting scheduled where we could meet in person, and the location that we were scheduled to meet at had a conflict of time. And that was just on Friday, Thursday, that we found that out. So we just had to pivot real quick and make it so that we just did it online. And dang, Jen, I bet we never got a sign put up over there, did we?
Nope, we did not.
Okay, we're gonna admit.
You want me to run over there real quick and put one
No,
up?
it's all right. So during the general meeting, what we do normally is the first 10 minutes are public comment. What I would like to do tonight is just have everyone go around really quick that is on the board and introduce yourselves. Just if you look at the bottom of your screen, if you have a question or want to make a comment, you could either raise your hand by hitting the little icon on the bottom. You can see where my hand came up, or just simply raise your hand. And what will happen is we'll nominate Julie here. She'll put your name in the chat on the side. And if we have any questions, we'll go by the name, by the order of the people that were first up. So Julie, why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, everyone. My name's Julie Bowman. I live, own, and work in the Whitaker. I've been here since about 2004 in some capacity or another. I'm the secretary for the Whitaker Community Council Board. And the main thing I really like to do is put on music in the park. That was me this summer. I hope you liked it. If you didn't, tell someone else about it. I also serve on the Public Health and Safety Committee.
Thank you. Jen?
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, I mean, you work for the board, so you might as well introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi. Sorry, my camera is off. My name is Jen. I'm the communications manager for the WCC. I've been doing that for a couple of months, and I'm still kind of learning and meeting people from the community, and I'm really enjoying that part of it.
All right, Doriandra, I think you're next, that as far as I can see. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I'm toggling with these pictures. My name's Doriandra. I'm with the Whitaker Community Council. I am an executive director and work in the Whitaker. Grateful to be here tonight. Thank you.
Okay, Janet, I think that you're up.
Hello, I'm Janet Ayers. I'm an at-large board member. I have just a quick response. Margaret, the other night you mentioned that LTD had taken down all of the trash cans.
Yeah, that's that's for the Public Safety Committee right now, yeah. Janet. We're just introducing ourselves.
Okay,
this is a general meeting, so that's not, we'll get to that later.
Tonight?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you'll let me know post-meeting?
Yes.
Because there were trash cans at some of the LTD sites I saw.
Okay, thank you. Can you introduce yourself, Janet?
I did. I said, hello, I'm Janet Ayers. I'm an at-large board member. I've lived, work, and participate as much as I am able to in all the community meetings. There's lots of solutions out there for things that are happening in and about the city of Eugene. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Chris.
Hi, everyone. Chris Horton, at-large board member. I live in the Whitaker, and you can often see me at events dragging my 2 little kiddos in tow. So proud to be on the board and welcome any feedback and comments and enjoyable discussion.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here, Chris. Okay, so we will go ahead and get some public comment underway, and I see that we have Willow with her hand up.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
Gabe.
you.
Hi,
Yeah, that's
Gabe.
okay.
Sorry.
Yes, I'm borrowing my daughter's Google because I don't have a Google account. My name is Gabe Scott. I came from the breakfast crew, the breakfast brigade crew. We wanted somebody to show up at this meeting and just at least say a word, kind of keep that hand open to you guys.
Sure. Welcome, Gabe.
Thanks. We've changed our name to Neighbors Feeding Neighbors now, just to sort of clarify our group and what we're about. So I've been, among other things, we're working on solutions to a bunch of things and making progress on everything. I've been trying to arrange this dialogue with WCC. So far that's been unsuccessful. The most recent today, I saw an email that it seemed to say maybe WCC wanted to remove yourselves from the conversation. And I just personally, I hope that's not the case. I hope that we have a conversation that's open. And to be clear that our group has never wanted to say, our answer is yes to any arrangement of meeting that you were good with. And anyone with the Whitaker board, we're working on a bunch of practical solutions with neighbors in the neighborhood and would be excited to talk about them and to hear feedback as well. We definitely don't have all the answers. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was clear and that hand is open and that we are keen and anxious for just simple dialogue. My personal thought had been maybe this was wrong, that just a smaller sort of more intimate talk would be easier, but if a larger arrangement is better, then that's fine too. Our answer is yes to any sort of a dialogue. So I hope we can make something happen. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gabe. We will, I'll email you, or you email me and I'll answer you back. How about that? Whatever works for you. So we will talk about it, and if we decide that we want to bring it back to a meeting, we're more than happy to do that. Okay, does that work for you? And we invite you to please stay tonight and join us for the meeting. I think you live in the neighborhood, right?
Personally, I live in Friendly, actually. Of course, we serve in the neighborhood. So
you work here, you volunteer in the neighborhood.
Yes,
so,
yes, I do.
Yeah, same
yes,
thing.
sir.
Same thing. Anyone that works, lives, volunteers, owns property is part of the Whitaker. So please, you're more than welcome to stay.
Good. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that lines of communication. Let's keep them open.
Yes, always.
Or open them. Yeah.
Always.
Good.
Do we have any other public comment?
Margaret, are we a public comment? I know that we were on your agenda.
No, actually, you're the first on the agenda. I'm going to introduce you here in a minute. Unless there's no more public comment, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
I actually sent you a copy of the agenda. Did you get it?
I did. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't misreading. So good to go.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Is there any other public comment that we have? Okay, fantastic. So I would I have the pleasure of introducing is it Stephanie? Stefani.
No, it is. I know it's spelled that way, but yes, it's Stephanie. Pronounced.
So of Stephanie and Lindsay, they're from Sacred Connections Church, which is down on the corner of Monroe and 3rd. They are extremely active in the community since they've been there. I know they've done a lot of work to try to clean the area up. And they right now are currently preparing and promoting the Great Whitaker Cleanup, which I hope that you all have seen online. So they were going to come in person and talk a little bit, but unfortunately that didn't work out for us. But I'd like to introduce them, have them share a little bit about what they're doing and what they'd like to share. So please.
Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say we're really grateful to be here. Thank you for the invitation. As you said, Lindsay, Stephanie from Sacred Connections Community Church. We are really excited about the Whitaker cleanup on October 19th. It is going to be the first of hopefully very many. We do realize that our food drive, which is one of our big passions here, we're here to fill the needs, and one of them is food. And we do realize that creates a lot of garbage in the neighborhood as well. So in full circle of filling the needs, we don't like to be just part of a problem, even though we're solving something. We decided to pick up the torch. We've got to speak to Wade, and we are going to do this and learn a lot from it. So we are open to feedback, ideas, any comments, and we are also asking for support. It is on October 19th. We need volunteers. We're doing a raffle. So if anybody has a business or knows anybody or can spread the word of, like if the shift or anybody wants to donate an hour of their time for bikes, we're building the raffles, donations, and volunteers. Yeah, some bodies. So it is on, again, October 19th. You can reach us at sacredconnections810.com. We are really excited to be here in the Whitaker. I lived here years ago and moved away for a while, and literally there's no better community than the Whit. So we're really excited and seriously open to any ideas and feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Margaret, you're on mute.
Do we have any questions? Julie.
Thank you both, Stephanie and Lindsay, for being here. I'm really excited to have you in the neighborhood. What's the best way for people to volunteer? Reach out to you on your website there you shared, Sacred Connections 810, or is there a better way to reach out?
Yeah, you can reach out to us over the website. I did provide the volunteer sign up form that I think you guys promoted on your own social media that has a QR code, and that just takes you to a Google form that allows you to sign up. And then also is there's a little placeholder too in there to give any feedback of other things that you might want to see in the community. Because as Gabe was saying earlier, opening the conversation to really look at the issues or problems that we may see and come together as a community to see about solutions and how we can work together to achieve them.
We also take all walk-in volunteers.
That too.
Perfect. I'd forgotten about the volunteer
I keep
form.
hearing
So
that.
maybe we can bring that back again to social media.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Julie. And Jen, we're sharing that, right?
I saw it go up.
We've definitely shared both the event and the flyer one time, and we will definitely keep promoting it. It's
Thank you.
on my list.
Yeah, it's still a couple weeks away, so we'll make sure to send it out and around a few times. Chris.
Yeah, thank you for being here and for organizing this. I'm interested if you can just walk us through sort of how you imagine this, unfolding, or if there's, a specific map or itinerary or problem spots, that you want to focus on, because, obviously not all parts of the Whitaker are created equal when it comes to, trash, and, a lot of trash exists on, in and around the railroad, which presents its own challenges. So I'm just interested sort of how you envision this, unfolding, and, how you're prioritizing specific, sites or areas for, for cleanup that are within normal, sort of human volunteer bounds, versus things that require, city or, heavier maintenance.
So, first of all, we are on a learning curve, and we do know that. So we are basically going from like the Rose Garden to Monroe Park to like Blair to the Butte is kind of it. That's where we're gonna start going here. We do have a wide range of volunteers, right? So we are going as along the street, not into the tracks on this first round here. And when I say we have a wide range of volunteers, there are some people that come here and use the grabber and use because they know that the dumpster is open and they get to grab a garbage can and on their own free will go clean up the tracks. So as we said, growing in this, I hope we have a railroad team, that can do this. And we don't want to do this just once a year. This is something that needs to happen all the time, and definitely in heavier in some areas than not. So again, building the bridges, building the relationships. Like I said, we've been here almost 10 months, and there's a handful of people that will come around and help clean up this direct area. And that's just what we're looking to do, is spread it and spread it. So no, we're not going to go down the railroad tracks just yet, though that is a goal, to do that safely and properly and to be able to dispose it with the right people who understand what that means.
And then to expand upon the day a little bit is that we're going to start from people get here between 11 and 12, and then from 12 to 3, we're going to do a solid 3 hours of cleanup. Everyone can come back to our location at the church. We'll have the dumpster here. And then we're going to do a DJ and barbecue from like 4 to 6 to show our appreciation for all the volunteers and everyone that's coming out. And then we'll do like a raffle and just connect and network and have some fun after we do the dirty work,
Great. Thank
All right,
you.
Fantastic. Chris?
Oh, I just said thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And one thing, so to just talk a little bit about what Janet was speaking about when we first started. So we do have a health and safety committee, and on our health and safety committee, we have a parks and safety liaison that was on the board for years that is no longer on the board, but she still serves on the committee. So previously she was working with the previous board vice chair. By the way, those of you that don't know, Elliot moved out of the neighborhood. He moved into the downtown neighborhood, so he is no longer on the board. So she was working with him on getting garbage cans around the neighborhood. And funny, because they were talking about doing the Great Whitaker cleanup, which never followed through, but we're so happy to see that you guys are doing that. So she did tell me that LTD had removed its garbage cans. Apparently they didn't remove them all, from what Janet tells me. But we are working with the city and with Santa Pack. I mean, come on, we need some trash cans. There's hardly anywhere to put garbage in a public receptacle. They're all either, garbage cans that are up and down in the alleys, or they belong to a business or to folks like yourself. Stephanie, you told me that your trash is always open, which I'm sure that not everyone knows that. So we end up with a lot of trash around the neighborhood, and we're working on getting some garbage cans to help fix that problem. And I tried to get a little more information on that, but it's still in the works at the moment. And do we have any other questions? Any comments? Any volunteers? Yes, I knew Julie was going to volunteer. And you're looking for people to volunteer to do what exactly? Walk around with a can and a grabber?
Well, that's one job.
Okay.
So we have a great solid group of volunteers that will do the setup and everything here. We're still maybe not, fully down on a cook. We've got some things with that. But yeah, the volunteer really is like the cleanup. But then there's going to be service here to do the barbecue and the raffle. So if anybody's got some great raffling, auctioning skills, please let us know. Yes, the main role is cleanup without other specialties. Yep.
Okay. And I would also for you guys, I would post it on the neighborhood page, who is there anyone in the neighborhood that's an auctioneer that would be willing to donate some of their time? People in the Whitaker have a lot of different talents, and I would not be surprised if we had someone who was a type of auctioneer.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is a really good idea. And that would make it so much fun.
Yeah. And I participated in Whitaker cleanups before in the past, as I know Julie has. And they normally are very well participated. A lot of people come. So it's a pretty lively event, which is great.
That's what we're hoping for. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for coming. Like I said, we'll have you back in November. You are welcome to continue and stay through the rest of the meeting if you would like. Or if not, we'll see you next month. It's completely up to you.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all that you guys do. Thank you so
And
much.
thank you as well. We look forward to collaborating some more in the future.
Yes.
Yes.
Us too.
Beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is Julie Bowman, Health and Safety Committee.
All right. Backing up to the cleanup for a second. Somewhere I have a bunch of superhero capes. Last time we did the cleanup, we were wearing capes. So I might have costumes on while we clean because that's fun. We had a great meeting last night. Unfortunately, I did not get to attend the AARP grant launch event at Campbell Senior Center last Saturday, but it sounds like it was an excellent event. The venue was good. We would like to rent it again for other events that we have. That grant, the AARP grant, is about enhancing digital connectivity, specifically for seniors in the Whitaker, for everyone also. Part of that is giving out some chargers for phones. I think Doriandra's going to update us on this probably better than me, but we gave out all the phone chargers to Whitaker residents who are over 50, and we're getting set up some Wi-Fi hubs that will be active in emergencies that anyone can come and use. After that, we talked a lot about MCOMs, which is emergency communication. Whitaker resident Joanna DeFelice, sorry, Joanna, offered to help with anyone learn how to use radios. So Joanna and some other people in the neighborhood are ham radio operators licensed, but evidently anyone can buy a little walkie-talkie, an FRS radio, and learn to use it. Andy from CERT has done demonstrations at the last 2 resiliency events about the basics of how to use that. Joanna talked a little more about the designated Whitaker channel, the backup channel. So if individuals purchase those radios for themselves, or if the WCC gets their hands on some, perhaps through a grant, then we might be able to have a training. So that is a really good resource. What else did we do? We talked about the other grants we have going, the Healthy Homes grant, the AARP grant that I just mentioned. We've closed out the Small Bucket Gardening grant, I believe, and helped a lot of people with that. We're partnering with the Eugene Mission. So we talked a lot about grants. Other than that, I don't think that we had a whole lot of new information to cover. So it was a short, sweet meeting. We wrapped it up at just over an hour. That's all I got, Margaret. Any you have questions? Are people curious about that committee? Anyone can join it.
Yeah. Any questions for Julie? Actually, I started on the health and safety committee during COVID, and when we were doing the vaccine clinics.
Which was key. I don't know, you guys probably do all remember, no one could get vaccinated anywhere. And the WCC pulled out vaccinations for hundreds of people. I remember calling my husband on the phone and saying, leave work, get down here now.
Well, actually, just a little backlog, and for you, Stephanie and Lindsay, we our first location was at Alluvium, and we were contacted by Walgreens had a bunch of vaccines that were about to expire, approximately 550. And they told us, they said, how many people can you vaccinate? You have 3 days to put a clinic together. 3 days. That was it. And so our previous 3 chairs ago, Ian Bray, actually, Ian wasn't the chair. Chris Gatsby was the chair. So it was 4 terms ago. And Ian was working on grants, and we pulled together a vaccine clinic and had people completely wrapped around the building down Monroe Street across 3rd and on the other side to Monroe. And that day we vaccinated about 525 people. We actually had to stop in the middle so they could go to Walgreens and pick up the remainder. People were calling their friends and family from Portland, from everywhere, because as Julie said, that was when you had to be a certain age or have a certain health condition to get a vaccine. And we just pulled all the stops, and it was crazy. And up to that point, we vaccinated more people in that building in one day than anyone else had in the state. So it was very exciting, and it was a huge launching pad for us. That's how we got Doriandra, which we were very lucky to do. So, do we have any questions for Julie regarding the health and safety committee or meetings, or when they are, or how you can participate?
When they are is a good question. It's
Yes.
last night, the Tuesday before our general meeting. So we meet once a month from 6 to 8, and we do that online. We also host the disaster resiliency events. I think the one at the Campbell Senior Center must have been our 3rd, and they've all been very successful and well attended and often really fun. We've laughed a lot. And I don't know when the next one is planned, but I know we'll do it again.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Julie. You're the best. We appreciate you. And next up will be Doriandra Smith. She is our executive director. We would be lost without her. Thank you very much, Doriandra. I'll give you the floor.
Thanks, Margaret. Great to hear about the cleanup project. I'm really excited. Stephanie and Lindsay, right? Great. Okay. Super fun. Superhero capes are great. Okay. Rupert's just actually going to talk to y'all about what we've been doing because he's photo bombing the Zoom bombing. Okay. So yeah, let's see. Julie kind of started the ball about our last event. It was last Saturday at the Campbell Senior Center. I have some slides. I hope they will work for you. Let me see if we can do this. And it looks possible. I tell you, this thing is persnickety. So pardon if it does a weird thing. Let's see. Can you all see that?
We can see that. You got it.
Oh, it worked. Okay, fabulous.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So we got a grant from AARP. It was a community challenge grant, which seeks to improve livability in communities for people over 50. And so after much ado and technical challenges and all kinds of roadblocks, I was able to partner us with Emerald. Joanna had that great idea at one of our health and safety committee meetings because she knew they were expanding and kind of changing the way that the Whitaker could receive internet. So we embarked on this great project, and with the funding from AARP, we've been able to add 2 very kind of unique emergency Wi-Fi points that will be in the Whitaker. One will be at Eugene Mission for the folks on that side of town, and then the other one will be at Bruns Apple Market. So the way these things work is when I'll show you a card at the end, but essentially they're fiber optic equipment that's kind of new and state of the art. So when the city loses power, we will still have internet if you come to one of those locations. And I think that's going to be a great way for people to keep their digital connectivity and be able to connect with important resources, because we all know that information just shifts constantly during a crisis. So this is going to be a great part of our project. Here's some of us at our event. The other pillar or goal of this grant was to pass out solar powered battery chargers. And these are these cool big honk of a thing that you can either charge solar, and as we know in Oregon, sometimes that won't work. So these pre-disaster, or when we feel an emergency coming on, we'll be able to get them totally juiced up on a regular plug, and then they will hold power for potentially days on a phone or tablet. So we were able to give 50 of these out, and we had all kinds of happy recipients, including this cute dog. And we were joined by some really neat partners in our community. We had our fire department there. We had Deputy Marshal Althea Sullivan, I believe is her last name. And then we also had folks from the Eugene MCOMs. This is a really neat map you're seeing on the left that shows which parts of the community use which channels on these small connectivity radios. So as Julie mentioned, we are excited to potentially get a grant for that and really familiarize residents to how to use them, because after a crisis or a major problem, the more people have them and then can relay information back to the ham radio operator in Whitaker, then the more information gets passed up the channel to where we would have support and services. We are also joined by CERT. That's Jim Bell on the right there. He is a longtime organizer and leader, and he and his colleague Andy Davis did some neat talks and information about how to prepare for, respond to, and recover from disasters. So great event. These cards are really neat. We'll be amply passing these out more through social media and at our general meetings in person. But this is, a lot of folks have these now. These, I hope that they live on your fridge or your junk drawer. I know I keep all my important stuff in a kind of chaotic junk drawer, but this would be what you would take in your hand as you make your way down to the market or Eugene Mission. And as you can see, it's a set server and a set password. So these will not change. We are going to potentially add a third Starlink, which would be kind of a location that we would release later. But these 2 for now are absolutely solid. We begin installation on them next week. So super excited. These are really, really, I hope, going to help our community in ways that we need. Because, yeah, thinking about the last ice storm, when we did a kind of impact survey, the biggest problem people were having was being connected and losing power, losing Wi-Fi, or then they get the power on, but then the Wi-Fi wouldn't work. So we hope this helps. All right, I want to jump to a new program now we're doing as well. We started this program yesterday, or no, we started yesterday on Tuesday, October 8th. We have joined with the Eugene Mission, who are long-term partners with us. We were able to bring our clinic, our COVID clinic, to them when we had certain changes. And we had a really vibrant wellness hub there for quite some time. We've partnered with them on many different projects, and this one is fabulous. As we move into the Healthy Homes Grant, which we'll have more information for next month and hope to launch that like next month, which is a grant to work on energy efficiency and health and safety within homes. Wanted to find a way to kind of bring folks that are in the Life Change program at Eugene Mission. These are folks in transition and kind of relaunching their lives in a healthy way, free from addiction. Wanted to kind of take that group and combine it with the work we're doing in the community. So we have a great dedicated team of folks that came out to start. And because our grant hasn't started right away, and the primary role that they will do when it does is going to help prepare homes for the work we will do by the contractors. But in the meantime, we just pivoted to a kind of a community cleanup. And so we started on Tuesday with the area around Grizzly's granola and lots of trash, and just kind of looking at the way to make the streets a little bit safer and to feel better as we maneuver around our community. So that was great. They got out on the train tracks, and as you can see, there's a whole bunch of them way back there. So this was a huge cleanup, and they offered to pour mulch. So the owners of Grizzly Granola are thinking about that, which is excellent. But we'll be doing this every week now, every Tuesday morning from 9 to 11. So keep an eye out for these great folks. And if you see them, please go thank them and say hello. Our next target will be to assist our partners, the Whitaker Community Market, kind of do a pre-cleanup for Scobert Gardens. So we'll be there next Tuesday doing that and do that for an hour. And then we'll be going over to Bruns Market and work on some of that area. So we'll be expanding just from cleaning to also removing graffiti, helping seniors if they've got, issues with needing things moved around the yards or whatnot. But again, this project will move into supporting the Healthy Homes Project once we get that grant going. So that is some fun pictures. I hope those were great for you. I'm going to try to unpresent. There we go. Okay. Let's see what else. So wanted to also talk a little bit about disaster resiliency, because all of our portfolio of grants right now is related to emergency preparedness. And we've been in partnership with OHA since 2022 on our disaster resiliency project. And as Julie mentioned, we have great events at Washington Jefferson Park under the bridge, and we support a whole bunch of different partners. We've had Friends of Trees, we've had Green Hill, we've had a lot of different speakers come and keep us rolling in this trajectory of improving community resources. So we hope to bring another one of those soon. We don't quite have a date, but as we move our trajectory into these homes, we may be a little more focused on that, but we'll always keep in mind the preparedness issues, because the stronger a community is, the easier it is to recover. So with that, sending some good vibes to the Florida friends and hope for a best outcome for them. Any questions?
I just like to make a comment.
Sure.
So I had the pleasure of seeing Doriandra after she had met with the mission. And so I know a gentleman who works there. I didn't even know he worked there, but we went in there for a meeting and I saw him and we chatted, and that was about 1.5 years ago. And so he reached out to us. What do you think, Doriandra, 6 months ago?
Yeah, it was, well, maybe 4.
Yeah, it's been several months. And so what they're doing is they're actually running a program where people have curriculum, and they are part of going through their recovery, and their life change program is that they give them credits for doing certain things. It's kind of like going to school, I guess. And they wanted to add being a volunteer, giving back to your community onto that curriculum this year. And they reached out to us. I connected them with Deandra. And I tell you, when I saw her after she had gone and she had met them at Grizzly's Granola, and she said, oh my gosh, she said these people all came in a bus. They all got off the bus and they were just so excited to participate and to give back to the community and to be part of what we're doing. And she gave me a big hug and she felt so good. And I just want to give some of that back to you right now. I really do. And you know, like I said earlier, you do an outstanding job and organizing things like this. It's really what we want to focus on and things that we want to do. And these are real solutions to real problems that we can help with and have an impact on. So Deandra, thank you very much. And I wish that I could share just the joy that you felt after doing that. It was just so, it was wonderful. It was so good. Yeah.
I'm really excited. And I love that they were going to then go back to the mission and then do a whole bunch of other fun stuff like learn how to make a charcuterie tray, or like they were gonna, like all the cool stuff they do. It's just really neat that we're part of that too. So
yes,
great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Deandra about the grants, about what she's doing, about the what her plans are, about any of that? Man, we're going to have a quick meeting tonight. Julie Bowman.
Deandra, I'm really excited about this partnership with the mission. And I know we talked about it a little bit last night, but I guess I didn't realize that it was going to be ongoing every single week.
Mhm.
And that I missed the part about how it was going to expand into not just picking up trash, but also things like remediating graffiti. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. We're working with them indefinitely then at this point. Is that true?
Well, the way it works is just like in any school, there's terms or seasons.
Okay.
So we started October. Their term started October 7th, and it will go through December 20th. And then there'll be a winter break, and then we'll start again in January. So we'll be doing big blocks of time like that. And so given all the work ahead of us for the Healthy Homes Grant, we may just kind of be on a really neat Whitaker extended cleanup revival for the next at least probably 2 months. And then as we go into winter, I mean, the real goal is to try to get them inside sooner for the rainy season. And so hopefully that will then be activities like for the Healthy Home Grant. You know, for instance, the seniors, if we're going to go redo their floors and put all new windows in, then that team will come and move all the furniture for the seniors and help like that kind of stuff. So we have a wide range of activities, but we're starting strong with cleaning up the neighborhood and just doing good work.
This is fantastic. Kudos for engineering that, making
Thank
that happen. I love it.
I am really excited. So.
And Deandra, for those of us that haven't that are not familiar, what is the Healthy Homes Grant?
Sure, it's a massive grant from Oregon Health Authority, and legislation earlier in the year deemed huge resources towards improving houses. And this is part and parcel to curb the rise of our unhoused crisis and to make houses more safe as we battle climate change and coming environmental challenges. So 2 pillars of this project that the council will be doing. One is energy efficiency. Within that, then there are subcategories such as making ADA improvements for folks that are senior or have disabilities. Then the other pillar of that is focused on safety in the home. So we'll be doing mold remediation, we'll be doing allergen removals, there's many subcategories within those two big pillars, but we were awarded $750,000. And so the work plan ahead of us will entail about 80 homes in the Whitaker. And we are excited to start our efforts in the project that the Whitaker Community Council was instrumental in many, many years ago, and that's the East Blair Housing Cooperative. So we'll be starting there as a fantastic placemaking. And I had a great conversation with a couple of the tenants from there the other day, and they are just thrilled. It's a great area, but we need improvements in it. All the buildings in the Whitaker, at least over half, have very high ages. Significant growth in the Whitaker occurred before 1945, was the huge push of housing. So essentially, we have some real old houses, the largest grouping in the city. So this will be a huge benefit, and we'll be launching application process. We're already taking people interested in now. So once we have the final papers from the state, we'll get an application in place and it'll go out to the public, and we'll do a very robust marketing ad. We're so glad we have Jen Vincent with us to do our graphics and design. We'll be doing some money on, getting it on the radio and in our media so that we can really, really educate the folks in the Whitaker. And our primary goal, though, is to focus only there. In past grants, we have expanded for our neighbors in Bethel and Train Song and stuff, but this is really for the heart of the city, the Whitaker. So that's our goal.
Fantastic. Okay, do we have any other questions, comments? Okay, we are running ahead a little bit, which is great. So for those of you that don't know, the Whitaker Community Council has several committees that run underneath, and one of them is the Whitaker Community Art Team. And the Whitaker Community Art Team has been doing the Last Friday Art Walk, which has been extremely successful this year. It has been as successful as it was pre-COVID, from what some people have told us. So Jen Vincent actually is on the Whitaker Community Art Team as well, and that's how we recruited her to be our communications director. So Jen, why don't you catch us up on what's happening with the art walk, since this is the last month?
Yeah, so as Margaret mentioned, our final Last Friday Art Walk is going to be on October 25th. We have had 5 others this season, and they have been, each one has just been more and more successful. The last one that I was at, it was so fun to walk around the WIT and see people walking from venue to venue and checking out all the art at all the different stops. And I did write down a couple of numbers, because numbers are always fun when you're talking about this kind of thing. Let me just start with our mission for the Art Walk this year. We kind of tried to start with a mission, and it was to empower community engagement through art. And I definitely think we accomplished that. And some of the ways that we accomplished that were we tried really hard to make sure we got the word out about it. So we put about 100 posters up around town. And I think that was pretty impactful, because it helped not only get the word out about the Art Walk, but also improve a name and visual recognition about the Art Walk, because we made sure that it was clear on the poster, that it happens these 6 months out of the year. So hopefully people will remember that and be looking for us next year. We put up a brand new website, and I looked up the stats before I came on here, and we had over 3,000 visits to our website this season. So that's pretty exciting. That's where people are going to get a digital copy of the map. Our social media reach greatly expanded. Our Facebook posts had about 13,500 people reached, which is just super exciting. And we have over 1,000 followers now on Facebook.
Ooh.
And yeah, and our Instagram, we increased it by about 300 people, we started out with about 400. So that's pretty awesome too. And our Instagram posts are actually reaching about 7,500 people, which was a 50,000% increase, which I thought was a really fun number. We had about 30 venues participate. Each month was a little different based on, their capacity and what they had going on. And then we had over 80 visual artists and musicians that were involved throughout this season. And like I said, we still have one left. So that number of artists and musicians will go up a little bit. We also had 4 walking tours with Sierra from Eugene Eats, who is a bit of a historian of the WIT. So not only did she take people from venue to venue to see all the different art, but she visited murals and she shared a lot of history about the WIT. So I highly recommend going on the walking tour if you're able. It was a lot of fun. That's about all I have to say. I'm so happy. I'm an artist myself, which is how I found out about the art walk and how I got involved with WCC. And I'm just super excited about the future of WCC and especially next season. We feel like we ironed out a lot of bugs this season, and I'm really excited about what next year's art walk's going to look like.
Fantastic. Bravo. Good job. Do we have any questions or comments for Jen? Julie, are you raising your hand? Chris.
I was just thinking I'm talking a lot tonight, but I don't have any questions other than I love the numbers. Thank you for compiling that. That's amazing. Yeah, kudos. You guys did great. I see a huge increase on Art Walk nights. The streets get parked up. People are walking. They're having a great time. So yeah, I need to attend that tour. I love Whitaker history. Great job.
Yeah, fantastic. And do we know, I'm going to guess we don't know where her last tour will start. She will have a tour on Friday, October 25th. And it will be her last tour of the year. And I'm going to guess that she'll probably be back next year. Doriandra?
I just want to say it was so fun going on the art walk and going on that tour. I mean, like having the history about murals that, you drive by or you see constantly and they're like, oh, it's so cool. But the way she was able to explain parts of the mural and it just made me feel so much more connected to the incredible art that's there. So it's really cool. Good stuff, you guys.
Yeah, and Jen, please have that for next Wednesday.
Yes.
All right. Anything else? Okay, fantastic. Well, so we're running about an hour ahead of schedule. Thank you, Hybrid, for canceling our venue. I know we're all tired. It's been a really long week. Jane, how are you doing? I'm sorry?
Just well.
Fantastic. You have any comments you want to make before we sign out an hour
No,
early?
I loved hearing about all the exciting things. I loved the loving communication with the former breakfast brigade that was very healing after last month and made me full of optimism. I'm sure a lot of people worked really hard to get to this place, and I just got to see the fruits of your work. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Jane. You can't always believe everything you read. That's all I have to say about it. But thank you, and thank you for always being present and for being part of the community. And sometimes half the battle is just showing up.
Yeah.
It's much appreciated and it's always noticed. So is there anything that anyone would specifically like to see us address or talk about next month? Is there any kind of committee looking into finding a new physical meeting space? That committee would be Margaret and Doriandra. Linda, does that answer your question? Thank you very much. And just put it on the record, we're open for suggestions. We're looking. And we do always have the option to go back to the mission, which has been great for us. And they feed us well, and it's a great location, and they have everything that they need. It's just not always, it doesn't always feel safe walking down that long, dark street. But Linda, you can feel free. You all have my email. You can feel free to reach out, and I think you even have my number. So if you would like to reach out and talk about it, that would be great. I'm just reading the questions on the side. Julie.
I was just going to speak briefly to Linda's question about parameters. I think it needs to be in the Whitaker. We need Wi-Fi. Do we have our own owl, or do we always borrow someone's owl? We borrow the city's owl?
We've been borrowing the city's owl, and we've been looking.
Okay. Chairs, tables, ideally, parking, space for ideally 40 or 50 people. In my imagination, we could get a lot of people there every month, but in reality, it's usually about this crowd. Yeah. Email WCC. Low rent. Yes, donated or no cost would be great. And you could email the council with any suggestions or ideas you might have.
Yeah, we actually were starting to get more people being at the hybrid location. And I'm sure that you noticed that, Julie, because you do the attendance. And part of it was because of the location. It was in the center of the Whitaker. It was easy to get to. You could bike, you could walk. It didn't have the greatest parking, but it was easy access. So being somewhere in the neighborhood is definitely the best way to go. Somewhere that's not too far off the beaten path. Anything else? Is there anything that anyone would like to see on the agenda for November? Because in December we have no meeting. Just Stephanie? Is your hand up, Stephanie?
Yeah, sorry, Stephanie left and it's Lindsay and I'm not as tech savvy.
Hi, Lindsay.
I just wanted to say our location is available if you ever need it. We're right down the block from the hybrid and we have the space, and we'd be more than happy to host anything, just so you know.
Okay, fantastic. Well, what we'll do is we will probably reach out to you and talk about that and what that means and what that looks like and all of that. I mean, I live a block from you. So
excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a fantastic location, and we've been in that location before, actually. So
I've heard. Well,
we've done a lot of things there.
Okay.
So SLD, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, this is Susan. Hi.
Hi, Susan. How's it going?
I didn't change my name. I have had this in the back of my mind, and it may be something to talk to with the Health and Safety Committee, but I'm noticing an increased speeding between Blair and Polk on my street, cars and motorcycles jetting from Blair between those two, mostly. I don't know if it's particularly one direction or another. So I've been thinking about that. I haven't done anything about it or considered options about talking to transportation, but I'm noticing it. It seems like it's happening. And that's something I'm concerned about on my street. Speeding.
And what do you think would help that? Do you think it would be speed bumps? Do you think it would be stop
Yeah.
signs?
I would love Fifth Street to look and feel like Eighth.
Yeah.
If you've been on how Eighth
Yep.
is now, it's very easy for people that are on bicycles, but it's also slows down the traffic tremendously and makes the that street much more of a residential street than it was before. So, and that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I envision.
Okay. Doriandra?
Susan, it's funny because our, part of the side aspect we'd hoped for the CDC grant murals was traffic calming in a way, and because it's proven all over the world that it does mitigate incredible speeding. And I wonder if you noticed a slowdown in the time that when that mural was fresh. I mean, they've all taken quite a beating from the elements as we expected, but do you think that's part of it by chance? Is that it's fading, or did you think that even affected, did that slow down when it was bright and fresh and new?
I think it probably made the people that come to Tyler at that stop sign actually kind of stop there, because sign doesn't, people don't really stop at that stop sign. It's like as they say, a kind of California stop.
Right.
And I don't remember thinking that people were slowing down going east and west, but I did notice people slowing down at that stop sign to observe because it was more because of the fact that people slow down some for the stop sign. They are going to be looking, kind of observing more because it's a cross street.
Yeah.
But I don't think there was any change from my observation. Other people that live more, I'm about a half a block away.
Yeah.
So it could be that people that lived more near there had a different observation.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is it, Chris? Is it mainly eastbound, westbound, or certain
I have not stood out. It's
certain parts of the day?
I think it's mainly westbound.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wonder if it's because I drive home from work going westbound on 6th Avenue.
Yep.
Around 5:30-ish, 5:15. And I've noticed personally just that the traffic is getting a lot worse, which could be from a variety of factors, fall, more businesses requiring, in-person work. And I've noticed that, some people may want to take, they have Google Maps or something that's telling them that there's a 1 minute faster route if they turn right on, making this up, but Monroe, and then take a left on 5th Avenue versus going on 6th Avenue straight. And so I wonder if that's having an effect, and if it's a westbound rush hour in the afternoon, evening, or evening time of day thing, that it just is people finding a very, 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 very slightly quicker route. But I think your model of 8th Avenue is a good one based on how that seems to work. Just out of curiosity, I was wondering if it was certain times of the day when people were speeding, or if it was something different, like people playing, or youngsters doing drag racing type thing, or if it was just a traffic type thing.
It's motorcycle and cars. It's motorcycle and cars. And I guess the only way to answer that question is for me to go out there at those times and make note. And it does not, it seems, my memory is that this went on some before COVID, and things slowed a lot during the pandemic, of course. And I may be outside more in the summer and the fall, but I don't think it's happening. It's happened all the good weather times, like all this year. And I think I just finally the other day I thought, I'm not as busy right now. Maybe I'm going to bring this up. Like, I'm going to start paying more attention, because I'm also paying attention to the light. I bicycle and the light's not responding correctly to the lights going west. And I've already called about that. And so I'm just noticing more, because I come out of my house on a bike and then I notice cars like zooming by, and I'm thinking, this is not a very safe street right now. I have to be more careful. And I also just noticed, I don't know if it's people in the neighborhood, because sometimes it's the same car. So I don't know.
It happens on Monroe Street too.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Like 60 miles an hour from the stop sign.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what speed they're going, and I have thought about doing, it was suggested to me that and I don't know if they still this, you can take a class and you can get a speed gun. It doesn't give them a ticket, but you get an idea of what the actual speed is. I wouldn't mind having one of those speed things on the street, and that happened before COVID. We did that a couple times, and that slowed things down a bit. When people had, where they register how fast you're going.
Right, the sign. Janet?
Was somebody going to talk? Anyway.
Yeah, Janet has her hand up. She's trying to get herself off mute.
Okay.
Hey, Janet,
I
there you are.
know I live here on North Madison, and 4J and Willamette Family Inc., they drive like bats out of hell on a residential street, coming and going. I have been in many conversations with both 4J Safety Committee, and for a brief time during the early morning hours when they arrive, they're in a hurry to get in.
Mhm.
They're in an equally hurry time to get out. The city of Eugene, I think it's their engineering department, gave me like 20 of those signs that says 20 is plenty to post in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And although that's not the cure-all, at least you've got them posted. So there's some visual recognition that it is city code, that residential neighborhoods within the city limits, 20 miles per hour. Most folks do not know that, and I would say they probably don't care. That, coupled with the traffic team getting that trailer or motorcycle traffic team person to sit on his bike in a very high profile location, was very effective at the beginning of the year, last year, in slowing the traffic, just being a physical presence. Parking where it was very strategic to help slow it down. Did it stay that way? But for a brief while, it did help. I say if they would come back periodically and sit there, or sporadically sit there and actually issue a few tickets, that seems to slow it down. But people I've observed are driving faster and faster and faster, and it becomes very problematic in the city's planning department doing mixed use neighborhoods. I have a lot of negative view of doing that, because when you mix, we have educators. 4J is an education facility, administrative building here, and they seem to have no regard. I will say a little bit in their defense, they have that high school completion program. Those students that walk, I have been very polite. very observant, but there were a few of their students, 2 or 3 that 4J knows very well from my phone calls about those individuals speeding, using North Madison as their Indy 500. And we have children, pets, older people. We have pedestrian traffic, both students and moms with babies and carriages. And I think it's a problem everywhere, but especially here in the low SES Whitaker neighborhood, it seems to be more profoundly observed and ignored.
Yeah, I think one of the problems, because Fifth Street is just one street over from 2 high traffic streets, that people don't have in their, they forget that it's a residential area. Like they're in the mindset of, quick, quick, quick. But I also think that some people use it as, I don't know. Anyway, there's lots, we could go on and talk a long, long time, but whatever.
Email me, Susan, and we will see what we can do to maybe set up an email where people can do that, or maybe we can get a sign. That shows, I know what you're talking about, where it shows how fast people are going. That might help. Looking for a solution to the problem is definitely what we want to do, rather than
and Margaret, if they want,
I'm on the same page with you there.
Yeah.
Margaret, if you or Susan want any of these signs at the City of Eugene Engineering Department, I have like 20 of them with the little wire rods that you poke in front of in your planting strip.
Janet, maybe at our meeting, our in-person meeting in November, you can bring a few signs and give them out to people who would like them.
I would be glad to do that.
Yeah, I had some and they got stolen, but I gladly take some more.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic.
Thank
okay.
you.
So do we thank you, Susan, and everyone, I would like to welcome back Daniel. Daniel, are you still here? Susan gave me the idea of having a meet and greet, and that's what we were going to do in person. We were going to actually feed some people, get up, talk a little bit about each other, about ourselves, how long that we've been here, what we do in the neighborhood, that kind of thing. So this is good. That's what this is kind of turning out to be. Daniel, are you still with us? Well, I know that Daniel knows a few people that come to the meetings and that are involved. And Daniel was the gentleman at the last meeting that had the baby and stood up with the shoe. And actually, I've had a few people talk to me about that and how impactful that was and how it really made them think. And so I just wanted to welcome Daniel to the meeting. All right. So anything else that we want to cover, or we're going to get out of here a little early? I would like to thank Stephanie and Lindsay for joining us. And we look forward to hearing from you again in November. Thank you very much. And perhaps at that point, you want to talk a little bit about other things that you're doing in the community. And I think that's a wrap. Unless, Julie, did I miss anything? Toriandra?
No, I don't think you did. I'm really excited about the Great Whitaker cleanup, and I'm going to start rounding up my friends and superheroes.
Fantastic. And Julie, I will see you on the 16th. And I will get with Toriandra and get those things signed for you if she ever wants to see me again. See, I knew I could make you laugh.
Yeah, you always do.
All right. Oh, thank you, Daniel. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you next month in person. We will make sure Julie will let you know where that's at, or just, follow us online. Jane, thank you. Stephanie, Lindsay, thank you very much. You all have a fantastic evening. And we'll just keep working on what we can, and do our best to create the best solutions we can for the issues that our neighborhood faces.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much,
Margaret.
Chris. Do you have
Thank
anything
you.
you want to add, Chris?
No, just thank you, Doriandra, for the updates. It sounds like it's much needed and necessary progress on some important activities, and excited for the cleanup to happen. Yeah, we'll see you all next month.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. And I
all.
will see you, some of you all, next Wednesday. Have a great evening. Thank you very much for
Yeah.
joining us.
Take care.
Good
Bye.
night.
you.
Bye-bye. That's it.